Welcome back to the 21 Convention 2019 of Orlando, Florida. Our next speaker is the host of the Sharpe Reality, broadcasting live out of TSR Towers. He's also a frequent host of the Red Man Group and a returning alumni speaker to the 21 Convention. Gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, Donovan Sharpe.
Welcome back. So I was going to come up here and be Captain fucking Red Pill, right? Had my red shirt, had it all ironed. I was looking good, feeling good, looking at myself in the mirror. You the man. Throwing on the cologne oil. Everything is good. Put it on my arms, everything, put it on my chest. All of a sudden it starts to bleed through, right? So now I'm fucked. Well, what color shirt do I pick? Do I pick the red, do I pick the pink one, or do I pick the turquoise one? I said, what the hell? I'm talking about masculinity. Might as well wear the pink. At any rate, it is great to be here. This is going to be a relatively short speech. I'm not one to drone on and on, at least not live. I'm going to open it up for questions. I don't know, maybe the last 15, 20 minutes, if you guys want to ask me anything. But yesterday I made an appearance on somebody else's YouTube channel. And anyone who's followed me for any number of months, years, whatever the case may be, you guys know that I've been historically pretty harsh on the group of men that call themselves MGTOWs, right? Any MGTOWs in the audience? No? All right, good. A lot of liars, I'm kidding. So the reason I made the appearance on this show is because the guy who hosts the show didn't really appear to have the characteristics that I thought that these MGTOW guys had. Pretty good looking dude, has his shit together. Okay, so he's going through a divorce, but he understands, he knows red pill truth, and he tries to live the red pill life. He calls it the free agent lifestyle. Everybody has a term for it. I made an appearance on his show to get a better understanding about who these men going their own way are. And what I quickly began to realize is that I don't want to call it a preconceived notion, but what I had learned about them wasn't really who they were. And so that begs the question, a lot of guys tend to rush to judgment when we see certain things. Now, I'm of the mind, we all hear the old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. Sure you can, right? No, you can't always judge a book by its cover, guys, but you can about 95% of the time. So I decided, all right, I've seen the cover of the book, I see these guys bitching, moaning, whining, complaining about what they can't do, about what they can't have. I've had guys call into my show, oh, Donovan, it's too hard. I lose my mind with these guys. And I think to myself, there is no way that this guy who hosts this show, this MGTOW guy, there's no way that he's one of these people. So I made an appearance on a show, and I learned a lot about who these MGTOW guys are and about who these MGTOW guys aren't. But one thing that became very clear to me in the 5 minutes or so that I looked in the chat, I said I wouldn't, but I always do, right? In about the 5 minutes or so I looked in the chat, I noticed that there were a lot of guys who lacked a basic working knowledge, not only about red pill truth, but about basic masculinity. We all bag on millennials all the time. Millennials don't know how to change a tire, right? We've all heard it. Listen, a millennial will program a smartphone, they'll jailbreak an iPhone, but they couldn't change a tire on the side of the road if their life depended on it. Obviously, our forefathers used to work with their hands. Fortunately for me, I'm part of the generation that used to work with their hands. Kind of sort of passed down onto me, right? I'm a Gen Xer. But the point is that men these days, there are grown men in their 30s and sometimes even their 40s who lack the basic principles, the basic pillars of masculinity. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the 3 pillars of masculinity. Now, I don't want to risk any sort of copyright thing, but I'll give you guys sort of a clue. It's going to be BMW, all right? And I'll probably change that maybe over the next few months or so just to make sure that I stay away from that kind of stuff, but it's BMW. And I know you guys are probably thinking you might know what it is. I can promise you some of you might be right, most of you might be wrong. Before we get to the pillars of masculinity, these are a few of the elements, okay? The pillars create the elements. The 3 pillars I'm going to talk about today help the elements come into play, come into focus. Confidence, decision-making, critical thinking, which is critical, frame, leadership, dominance, and respect. You can't accomplish any of these things, at least not in a real sense. A lot of guys can fake confidence, right? A lot of guys can act like they have frame. A lot of guys can, act like they're dominant. I think there's a track by Jay-Z that, I think it's 99 Problems, but a bitch ain't one. And he's talking about some dude talking shit to him. And what he said about this guy, he says, you know the type, loud as a motorbike, but wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. That kind of guy has no idea what the pillars are or how to accomplish them. So again, the pillars create the elements. You cannot have the elements in place. You cannot have them firmly in place if you don't have the pillars in place. BMW. Let's get started. The first element is body, as you guys probably all have guessed. Put simply, guys, you change your body, you change your life. Of the three elements, this is the pillar that makes the most difference the fastest. I get emails and messages all the time. Donovan, how can I fuck a bunch of bitches? I live at home with my mom, but I want a steady rotation of 9s and 10s. Is this possible, they ask me. I tell them, well, sure, right? But you said you were a fat ass. How fat are we talking? 350 pounds. Whoa. Yeah, but there was Biggie Smalls. Yeah, that was Biggie fucking Smalls, man. Now, Biggie didn't have this particular pillar, right? We all know that. Biggie was passing around bitches like a cold, as he said in one of his tracks. Biggie's the exception to the rule. We're not going to talk about celebrities. We're not going to talk about professional athletes. We're not going to talk about recording artists. We're talking about guys like you and me, the everyday guys. The picture you see on your left, that was me when I was married. Ex-wife was a decent cook. I ate a lot. I was 312 pounds in that picture. I don't know how much I weigh in the picture on the right, but it's a hell of a lot less than that. And I think I've got an extra chin. I never saw that double chin in this picture until just now. Holy shit. I did have a nice set of tits. I was probably a B cup when I was 312 pounds, so I had that going for me. The first thing that building a strong body, a strong physique, the first thing it affects is your confidence, guys. A better physique means you have better confidence. A better physique means you have more strength. Got a good friend of mine on the way up here. He's driving from Miami. His name is Meyer, and hopefully you guys can see him. That guy's body is a temple. He used to be a fat ass. He actually used to be 254 pounds. How this applies to you, it's simple. As soon as you start dropping weight, when you get into shape, when you step from the before to the after, guys, your life changes in every conceivable way. Everybody treats you differently. The world treats you differently. You treat the world differently. All you have to do is have the discipline. I'm not going to sit up here and you can do anything you put your mind to. No, the fuck you can't. You kidding me? That's bullshit. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you certainly need help. And building these pillars is part of that help. Having a good physique, you have a sound and clear mind. You can handle stress and make better decisions in life. How many of us in here have made bad decisions? Everybody raise your hand. Just everybody raise your hand. Right? Okay? When you have an elite physique, or at least a better physique, you handle stress better, and handling stress better allows you to make better decisions. We've all made very small, what seem to be not so significant decisions that alter the course of our lives forever. You want to make sure that your mind is as sound as possible. There are other things that can help that. Yes, you can read, you can write, you can take up hobbies, whatever. It starts with the body. Problem solving. When you have a better physique, you have improved concentration. You can think through complex tasks. Obviously, both of those aid in good decision making. And again, I know this seems remedial. I know this seems basic, right? But being a man, being masculine is not difficult. It's not complicated. Oh, let me go back. Leadership. Very few leaders are in terrible shape. How many obese leaders do we have? I don't know, Luciano Pavarotti? Maybe? What did he die at, like 60-something? Listen, one of the greatest tenors in history, not a very good leader. Why? Because he was a fat ass. Oh my God, Donovan, you said somebody can't be a good leader if they're a fat ass. No, not at all. But if you want people to take you seriously, you cannot be a fat ass. This is all there is to it. You cannot lead men, you cannot lead women if they won't give you the opportunity to lead. That's just all there is to it, guys. If you're a fat ass, if you're disheveled, if you're slovenly, you're not going to get many chances to lead. Maybe you'll get a chance to lead other fat asses, but who the hell wants to lead fat asses, right? Raise your hand. Didn't think so. That last line says part of leadership is looking the part. A lot of women out there like to bitch and moan. I don't have my girl voice today, which really fucking sucks. But they like to say, well, studies show that taller people are more successful. Listen, that may or may not be true to whatever extent, but I do know this. I've never seen or heard of a fat CEO. You cannot expect people to follow you if you do not look the part. Now, not everybody is a leader. I understand that. But just because you're not a leader of men doesn't mean you can't be a leader in your own relationship, in your own life. You can be the leader of your family. I have a father. All of us in here have fathers. Maybe some of us know him, maybe some of us don't. But when it comes to the Sharpe family, my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, my mom and my dad, I run the goddamn household. Not my dad. My dad's a pussy. I'm sorry. That's how it is, man. My dad is kind of a fat ass. That's part of it. Frame. Having a good physique, having strength, this is simple. You know that you can defend yourself if the shit hits the fan. Part of being confident in any situation, and this can be social, romantic, family, whatever the case may be, is knowing you can defend yourself. How many of us have been in a fight? How many of us have won fights? How many of us have been beaten in a fight? Oh, wow. I was hoping for a better record than that, right? Yeah, I've got my ass kicked a few times. We all hear the cliche, well, you should see the other guy. That was my intent. If you know that if the shit hits the fan, you're not going to get your ass curb stomped, you're going to do physical damage or possibly even win that fight, guess what? You walk a little taller, right? You got a little bit more swag. Now all of a sudden you're breathing easier. You're speaking more clearly. You're looking people in the eye. Why? Because of that primal instinct. Hey, if shit gets real, I know I can fuck somebody up. Why? Because I'm in good shape. Yeah, there are a lot of fat guys who can fight, right? We know that. But again, who wants to be a fat guy who can fight? Dominance. Oh, yeah. Not a lot of fat or obese dominant people out there. Texas Dom, I think I see you right there. Raise your hand for me. Yep, there he is. Tex, are there a lot of fat doms in the dom sub industry?
Yeah, they have fat subs.
There you go. Absolutely. Very good answer. And again, who wants a fat fucking sub? Right? And by the way, this is just off script here. How do really fat people have sex? Right? Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that in your mind. People respect dominance more from men who are physically elite. Yes, there are domineering men who are a bit overweight. There are domineering men who are obese. But if you look like the guy on the left, people aren't going to look at you the same as if you look like the guy on the right. This is life, guys. Oh my God, that's not fair. Fuck fair. This is how it is. Guys ask all the time, oh, I just can't do it with girls. I've tried everything. Well, what's your fitness level like? Well, you change your body, you change your life. I'm living proof. Respect. A great physique signifies a few things: self-worth, discipline, consistency, competence. These are all respectable masculine characteristics. When you see a guy who's in really, really good shape just kind of walk across the room, all the girls are like, now why do they look at that? Well, number one, because he looks good. They want to fuck him, they want to have his kids. They don't know that. They don't know that that's what they're thinking, but this is the feminine hard drive. But the second reason is that having a great physique automatically, subconsciously checks off all of the boxes. We all know people who seemingly get the benefit of the doubt. That guy just gets lucky. Everywhere he goes, life just seems to just work for him. The guy's probably in pretty good shape. We've all heard the old cliche, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Have we heard that before? Let me see a show of hands. Well, the same goes with the physique. And again, looking good, being strong physically isn't everything. But I'm telling you right now, just based on what I've experienced in my life, if you are in great shape, or if you are in better shape than most people, your life will be different. You will experience life differently than what the 67% of people in this country who are not in good shape. If you want to separate yourself from, 67% of men, just get yourself in good shape. Life will start to get better, I can assure you that. Then, of course, respect. An elite physique, or good physique, speaks for itself. People tend to defer to other people who are in better shape. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. Of course, at the gym, all right, well, how do I do curls? How do I do a squat, bench press? All right, you want to go to the jack guy, the yoke guy, the guy in good shape. Well, you'd be surprised. You think to yourself, in any situation, if you're in a cooking class, you know what? Everyone seems to be asking that guy all the questions. Chances are he's probably in pretty good shape. If people defer to you, odds are you're not a fat ass. Right? Now, how? Listen, I'm not a fitness expert, okay? I'm not gonna pretend to be a fitness expert. My formula is eat clean, lift heavy. Now, if you want to build that first pillar, build that strong body, do whatever you have to do. And I'm talking about whatever you have to do. I don't care if you don't have the time. I don't care if you have the money. You make time. When things are a priority to you, you make it happen. There is no excuse. There is no excuse to be a fat ass in this day and age. There is no excuse for me to be looking like the guy on the left, guys. No excuse. I still love to eat, but I love to eat and I was fucking lazy. My life sucked. I was married to a fat woman who talked to me. Her words even looked fat. Everything we did was fucking fat. Life sucked because life was fat. It just sucked. I'm sweaty all the time. It was terrible. You change your body, you change your life. And guys, that's not hyperbole. If you change your body, your life will change. I can't put it any simpler than that. The second pillar is your mind. Mental strength and intelligence. Now, I guess I probably should have used another word instead of intelligence, but there are a lot of people out here who have book smarts. They have college degrees, things of that nature. Not very smart. Then, you got street thugs, guys who, live that street life. I'm going to keep it clean. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All my brothers in the audience. All right, I'm trying to lay out the breadcrumbs here. Mental strength and aptitude. That is a pillar of masculinity. I don't know anyone who is masculine who's a fucking dumbass. Do you? Well, I know a guy who's 6'4", he's jacked, and he fucks a bunch of bitches. Oh, so because he sleeps with a lot of girls, he's a masculine guy? Oh, I used to be that guy. I used to think, yeah. The more bitches you bang, the more masculine you are. We'll get to that later. Mental strength translates to physical confidence. If you know how to get into shape, you get into good shape, you're more confident. Intelligence breeds confidence. If you're an expert at something, I got my man Jesse right here in the front row. This guy's a fucking rock star. I can promise you, on the stage, he knows what the hell he's doing. He is confident.